A beautiful African woman named Awele, sitting in a traditional African hut, surrounded by her sisters and friends. Awele has glowing ebony skin, and her hair is intricately styled. She is wearing elegant traditional beads and a fine, colorful oak fabric. The atmosphere is calm, and the women are helping her prepare for a traditional wedding. The light from oil lamps flickers softly on their faces, creating a serene and intimate mood. Label: Awele's beauty before the wedding. An African village square filled with people dancing and playing traditional drums and flutes, celebrating a wedding. A procession of people, dressed in traditional attire, walks through the square. Awele, in her wedding attire, is escorted by her family. Obinna, a humble farmer, proudly walks with his family, wearing a white agbada. The scene is filled with joy, music, and excitement as the village comes together for the ceremony. Label: the wedding procession. A dark cloud suddenly forms over an African village square during a wedding ceremony. The sky is filled with ominous clouds, casting a shadow over the vibrant celebration. An old woman, Agbala, stands off to the side with a mysterious, unsettling presence. Her face is weathered and wise, and she gazes ominously at the gathering. The villagers around her look uneasy, sensing the impending danger. The contrast between the dark sky and the colorful wedding scene creates an eerie atmosphere. Label: the ominous warning. A dramatic moment where an old woman, Agbala, holds up a small wooden box containing a mirror that reflects a monstrous face instead of Awele's beautiful reflection. Villagers stand in shock, and the elder speaks cryptically, revealing the dark secret. The scene is set in a traditional African village square, with the air heavy with tension. The glowing, distorted image in the mirror casts a dark shadow over the gathering. Label: the revelation of the curse. A powerful and mystical spirit in the form of swirling wind and shadows, confronting Awele in the village square. The spirit is dark and imposing, its form twisting and changing, as it demands Awele as its bride. Awele stands bravely before the spirit, her face filled with resolve, while Obinna steps forward to protect her. The villagers are seen in the background, horrified and helpless. The scene has an air of urgency and despair, with the mystical presence overwhelming the peaceful village atmosphere. Label: the spirit's wrath. A tender moment where Awele says her final goodbye to her father, Okoro, and her love, Obinna, before facing the spirit. Awele is dressed in simple white cloth, with her hair loose. Okoro kneels before her in sorrow, while Obinna, injured, tries to hold back his tears. The village square is quiet, filled with a sense of loss. The light from the setting sun casts a soft glow over the scene, creating a bittersweet farewell. Label: Awele's last goodbye. A mystical and powerful spirit, a swirling vortex of wind and darkness, manifests in the center of the village square. Awele stands courageously before the spirit, her face filled with resolve. The villagers, standing at a distance, watch in awe and fear. The air is thick with energy, and the sky above is darkened, as if the heavens themselves are responding to the spirit's arrival. The atmosphere is charged with otherworldly tension. Label: the spirit's zero. A breathtaking scene of a golden tree emerging where Awele once stood. The tree's leaves shimmer with a golden hue, and its roots pulse with life. The villagers gather around the tree in reverence, while a faint, radiant light lingers in the air. The scene is peaceful yet sorrowful, as the tree stands as a living tribute to Awele's sacrifice. In the background, the sky is a blend of twilight colors, symbolizing the end of an era. Label: Awele's transformation into the sacred tree. 8. A dramatic scene of an African mother, Mama Nkem, collapsing in front of the wedding altar, surrounded by concerned villagers. She holds her chest, her eyes wide with fear. The atmosphere is tense as the ceremony is abruptly interrupted. The village elders, dressed in traditional attire, look on with confusion and distress, while Awele kneels beside her mother. In the background, the wedding celebration turns into chaos, with people running and crying out in alarm. Label: the tragic collapse. An African child, sick and pale, sitting beneath the golden tree where Awele once stood, eating a fruit from its branches. The child's face brightens as the fruit heals them, and their health is restored. Villagers gather around, amazed at the healing powers of the tree. The tree's golden leaves glisten, casting a warm, comforting light over the scene. The atmosphere is filled with a sense of hope and renewal. Label: the healing power of Awele'S tree. An old woman, Awele', kneeling before Awele'S sacred tree, holding a golden leaf that has fallen from its branches. Her face is full of sorrow and regret, and she looks up at the tree with reverence. The tree's golden leaves flutter around her as she prays for forgiveness. The village is quiet, and the air is heavy with the weight of redemption. The scene conveys both sadness and peace. Label: Awele'S redemption. Years later, an expansive grove of golden trees where Awele'S spirit lives on. Children are seen playing and laughing under the shade of the trees, while villagers from distant lands come to visit. A grand festival is held in honor of Awele'S legacy, with people dancing and offering prayers. The grove is bathed in soft sunlight, and the trees seem to glow with a serene and peaceful aura. The scene is filled with joy, reflection, and remembrance. Label: the legacy of Awele.